Всё, мы начинаем. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, our today's guest is Dr. Hamid Rasool from India. He's assistant professor in Gautam Buddha University, UP, India. He also holds a Ph.D. from Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi. He works on militarism of SCO and CSTO. Also, he's not unknown to in Kazakhstan and being a resource person in different universities in India and abroad. He gives a number of expert talks and also published papers in national and international journals. Um, Dear Dr. Hamid, thank you so much on behalf of Global Forum team.
Thank you.
We had privilege to listen to your speech presented on Fergana State University, um, dedicated to cultural similarities of India and Central Asia. We're very grateful for your precious time and that you agreed to share your expertise with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say hello to everyone present there, student, audience, and my friend and your mentor, I mean, Dr. Botha. I'm glad to be here. I'm very thankful to everyone there. So, the latest, the talk which was given in the at the Fergana State University, there was commonalities between Kashmir region of India and Uzbekistan and their roots in deep history. The historic connection between India and Central Asia, especially the northern part of India that is called Kashmir, the commonalities. Like if we go in history and we'll see what are the basic of the commonalities, the basic of commonalities are the historic route, like the Silk Route, which was existing there, then the cultural exchanges which has happened over the past time, past decades, and then shared influences like on their language, on their food habits, on their living, on their style of having food habits. So everything which was impacted during the trade period which used to happen between from China to Europe through the Silk Road. Like if we see the everyday everyday art, everyday food, and everyday culture there in Kashmir and some parts in Central Asia like Uzbekistan especially, you will find a lot of similarities between that. Like in my lecture I have shown different pictures, different uh, foods I have shown to the people in my presentation, in which I have shown them the kind of instrument they are using which are common to both of them, the kind of food they are using which is common to them, kind of bread they are eating, I mean they are common to them. Like in Uzbekistan I have seen they're using very big breads, okay, but in case of Kashmir they're using small breads of the similar kind, which they take with the tea and which they take with this gravy as well. And like if we see like I personally in 2019 when I went to Tashkent, and there's a charsu market I have gone there. I have seen people taking tea in cups which are similar to the cups which are using in Jammu, in Kashmir, especially in Kashmir, not in Jammu. They are called pyala, and pyala is something which is used in Iran as well, and which is used in Kashmir as well. So if somebody who is going from Kashmir to Tashkent or Kashmir to Samarkand or Bukhara, he will not be very like unknown to these things. He will be very quickly able to understand what kind of similarities are existing already there between two regions, and what are the reasons. Reasons are the cultural exchanges which have happened over the period of history. Like then I have given a different example like Sozni is a kind of embroidery which happened in Kashmir, and which has basically have roots in from Iran and Central Asia as well. Like this kind of art form is used in Iran as well, and in Central Asia, especially in Uzbekistan, is being used. And that is some very sophisticated kind of artwork which is being practiced in Kashmir. Uh, in India, only in Kashmir, which is happening there. This is basically a needlework, which is more sophisticated, and it's a kind of handcraft. Uh, and basically, this Sozni handcraft traces its origin from Central Asia, and like such kind of art forms are existing, the commonalities, the similarities, which we have seen. And Sozni is one of that example. And then like round shaped bread, which I have like mentioned earlier. These are kind of breads which nowhere in India is being used other than Kashmir. In Kashmir, like they are called those bread makers, they are called kandar. And and uh, the rotis which they use, that is called lavas, which in Uzbekistan, like I have seen in the similar market which I have mentioned before, the Chasu market at Tashkent. They used to like sell it for like Indian 60 or 80 rupees. They used to give us a big bread, and that was very beautiful, very decorated. And even you can see the art form, even the kind of like the kind of art form they basically exhibit on the breads as well. I mean, they're very very beautiful design, crafted. I mean, you will see a lot of carving done on breads. They have special instrument for them, and they do that. And that also represent the kind of culture, the kind of like they like even their breads to be decorated like anything. And similarly, that is happening in Kashmir as well. They like they have they decorate their breads, like they make different kind of geometrical patterns on breads. And then I have seen commonalities in Kashmir we have this noon chai, that's a pink tea. In India, another place is Hyderabad. In Hyderabad they are using this pink tea, and they are using their similar kind of cups. uh, we can't say it cup. This is a basically kind of bowl in which they take tea. And similar kind of bowls I have found in Tashkent Chasu market, where like common people were having their tea in those cups. And then it reminded me of the like kind of similar kind of cups which we use in Kashmir. And and the other things like when it comes to wood carving and golden plated woods, uh, like if we see in Kashmir, this is called tilkari. Tilkari, I mean, tilkari is a til is in Kashmir is called silver kind of thing, which is being embroidered on wood with lot of sophistication. It is done, and we can see its traces again from Central Asia. Basically, the metals are being used for carving woods, for decorating woods. Stones are used, and like different metals are being used, and sometimes gold is being used. That is it's called tilkori. Til is basically any something which is basically shiny and which is giving them a kind of pattern, and which is used for decorating such things. Then, like in Kashmir, we use kangari, and we also use samovar, which have their origination from again from Central Asia, whereas samovar is having its origination from Russia. Samovar was being used to heat tea uh, when these Russian soldiers used to go on war. It's a kind of like big container in the mid of which where the fire is being burned, and it basically he kept the tea heated, and you can use it and you can then serve tea from there. And then like we can again trace the kind of cultural mapping between the two regions through their buildings, the design of their architect. And we can easily find it the kind of architect they have in Kashmir. Like we have the concept of charbagh. The concept of charbagh is basically coming from Iran, and that Iranian culture is present in Uzbekistan as well, because like Turkey, there are a lot of Turkish war, there are a lot of Persian word which are present in Kashmiri language as well. Like I'll give you example like kagaz. Kagaz is used in Persian as well. It's used in Kashmiri as well. Then they say salam, and we say it salam. We say it shorter. They say it longer. And similarly, parvaz, abur, uh, ab is used for water in Kashmiri. We use ab for any kind of water, but I mean very common water which is used for watering, which is used for bathing, which is used for other things. But and we have like the drinking water it is called tresh. Whereas whereas in Iran, any kind of water is called, like every kind of water, either is drinking, either is used for general purposes, it is called. Then we have uh, dah is basically called uh, 10. 10, the number 10 is called dah in Kashmiri dah, and in Iran it's Iranian, in Persian it's also called dah. And then durust is basically the correct or perfect, which is used in in Persian and in Kashmiri as well. So these are the kind of similarities, even in phonetics, even in the vocabulary, you can find such kind of similarities which is existing. And then architect, when it comes to architect, you can see I mentioned the concept of chawbag is coming from Iran. uh, Such kind of gardens we have in Kashmir, which is called Mughal gardens, and these are the first kind of garden which were basically walled, because that was the concept which was like given in Iran, that the garden in paradise will be like a kind of paradise, kind of gardens which will be connected and which will be walled. So that basically get translated later on as paradise through the language English. And then that was the concept brought by Mughals, princes and kings to India, and then they form the formation of this Mughal garden took place in Kashmir, and they're very very famous and they're very known all over the world, and they're very beautiful gardens in Kashmir. And like and then uh, like if we see the kind of tiles, the kind of color, the kind of architect, the kind of minars, the kind of domes which are prevalent in Kashmir and Uzbekistan, you can find a lot of similarities between them. Like like even in India, this Taj Mahal is being was built on the basis of there was an Iranian, Persian basically architect which were being used in building Taj Mahal. And you can see like in Samarkand and Bukhara, the kind of color, the kind of geometric pattern they are being used in those monuments. You can find that such kind of monuments and such kind of tombs structure in Kashmir as well. Like the example is a blue geometric pattern of glazed slates. Uh, these are basically tile will be being used in decorating the houses, like which are you can see in Samarkand and Bukhara, like the big tombs, like big monuments which are being decorated by such kind of tiles there. They were very prevalent in very much in use in Kashmir as well. But right now, I mean, people are not using them, and they were very famous in the olden times. And uh, like like this is very common, and everybody can see that. And the kind of headgears being used in Kashmir and in Central Asian regions, many Central Asian region, that is called kasab. In Kashmir, that's called kasab, and like in scarf. There's a kind of head scarf which are being used by the older ladies, like women. Uh, and when I was like in Tashkent airport, and I was amazed to see them. I mean, a lot of people, they were going to Arab countries and they were wearing all kind of such kind of stuff, and I was amazed to see them. I was thinking maybe my people, my my grandparents or my, I mean, relatives, they are here and they're wearing such kind of scarves. I could, I mean, quickly relate myself to them. I mean, so that was like I was feeling. I mean, when I was at the Tashkent airport, I was feeling that I'm at home. Like I was looking that kind of people, the kind of dresses they are wearing, they are similar to the dresses the people wear at in Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, like for example, I have given you the example of Taj Mahal. This is Persian ajrak which are being used in India. Similarly, the Bershah tomb, which is in Kashmir, that has tombs, minars are being used, and domes are there. Three domes are there on that Bershah tomb. So there are like similar kind of tones you can relate back it to Tashkent, Samarkand, and Bukhara. And then we have the Hazrat Bal. That's one of the prominent place in Kashmir that has similar kind of structures you can relate with Central Asia and India. Then, like when it comes to amusement, dances, singing, and they're also part of the culture. So we can see the kind of similarities, like in Kashmir, like in Kashmir, when this is called when they do dance the courses, they do dance while holding their hands, moving and making patterns by moving their having a good footwork. And similar kind of dances we can find in Central Asian, like in Turkish, in Turkmenistan, and that is kind of even in Turkey, such kind of dances we can find. And these dances are basically they make rhythms and with the footwork, and women keep on moving in circles and shaking legs. Sometimes they shake only one leg, sometimes they shake both the legs. So they make different patterns and they happen, and we have seen such kind of dances in Uzbekistan, such kind of dances in even in Kazakhstan. People like hold their hands, dance like making different kind of patterns. And even in other Central Asian countries and adjoining countries, we can see such kind of dances they have, in which they're holding their hands, they're moving, and they're making some rhythms. And then like even the instrument, there is similarity between the instrument, which are being like a musical instrument which are being used in different Central Asian countries in Kashmir as well. Like we have like one that is called tamaknar. Tamaknar is a kind of instrument which is hollow and which is basically covered with the skin of goat or any animal skin, and which is basically beaten with the fingers, and they produce a rhythmic sounds. Similar kind of a similar kind of like instrument, even in the last lecture I have seen one of the musician, he was playing with the fingers and he was holding that kind of duff. That's kind of duff, the similar kind of instrument we are using here in India as well. They are being used in marriages, and birthday parties, and then births of children to celebrate, um, and like celebrations are being in celebration they are being used. And like even religion plays a very big role in it. Like in India, the religion Islam is coming through Sufism, and in Central Asia that's also coming through Sufism. And the Naqshbandiya silsila, which is in most of the Central Asian countries, which came in 14th century, uh, and that is the most followed silsila in Kashmir. That is also one reason that is why there are cultural similarities between India and Central Asian countries, different Central Asian countries. And even we have similar kind of geography, similar kind of environment. Like maple trees, you won't find maple tree anywhere in India except Kashmir. In the Kashmir valley, you will find a lot of maple trees. They are huge trees. They look very beautiful in autumn. They give a lot of like very soothing shades in summer, and you will find abundantly in Kashmir gardens and roadside, and they look very beautiful. They make very good sceneries. And you can find this maple tree in different Central Asian countries, especially in Uzbekistan, and they look very beautiful. They are similar kind of trees we can find here. And even I have seen those maple trees in the campus of Eurasian National Universities, and they were looking amazing, awesome. And like all these things, like the similarities, the commonalities we have discussed, they have like what are the like uh, which connects these two regions. The connection happened through the historic trade routes, the cultural influences, the Islamic heritage, the language and literature, uh, impact of Persian, which I have discussed, the art and architect. I mean, the rich historic art and architect, and intricate designs, vibrant color and geometrical pattern, which are being used there in some of the more Central Asian countries, and then in the northern part of India, there is Kashmir. Then we share like cuisine. Like even I have seen I have seen a lot of people are using the kind of cuisine we are having here, like the fusion of spices and curries, gravies, and the cooking technique, similar kind of cooking technique they use. Like aab gosh. Aab is water and gosh means is meat, like we have in Kashmir, and similar kind of dish I forgot I found there in Kazakhstan. And like palau is basically from Central Asian countries, and we use I mean lala palau here in Kashmir as well, and in other part of the India as well. Palau in form of biryani and other things. And like in Kashmir, we use a lot of curries and chickens and chutneys, not chicken, curries and chutneys, and similar kind of things are being used in Central Asia as well. And uh, and 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 celebration of festivals, and even I have found that we have the similar taste of celebration. When we celebrate like similar kind of celebration we have, like we cook like palaus, we cook biryanis, we cook different curries with mutton, chicken, and these things are being used. And like the festival of Nowruz, which is very much famous in Iran, and even in Central Asia, Nowruz is also being celebrated in few parts, and in Kashmir that is also celebrated, and that is the part of the year is like celebrated, and then this celebration is basically leaving their impression on the coming generation, and in this way the culture keep on getting passed from generation to generation. Even I have talked about the scarf, the head scarf, which is being used when I was there in Central Asia, and I have seen people wearing that. Even the fabric and embroidery, the similar kind of embroidery style, and and fabric you will find when you compare these two part of the world, and you will find a lot of commonalities, a lot of similarities between two part of the world. Like and they are obvious. These are the obvious things which have to be there, because India is and Central Asia is an extended neighborhood to India, and like in this globalization, these commonalities we can find very easily. And obviously these commonalities, this similarity has to be there, because India keep on sending its ambassador, India keep on sending investing a lot on in Central Asia, investing a lot on Afghanistan and Central Asian region. So because of these political, cultural and economic relations, uh, I think in the coming days these commonalities will increase, relation will increase, and we are going to have more exchanges, and in this way we'll be able to do more research on such kind of things which are very very important. And yeah, these are the things. I'll end here, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hamid, for your enlightening speech on the cultural similarities between Kashmir and Central Asia. Thank you for helping clarify many aspects such as food, musical instruments, dance, building, even art at all. And We deeply appreciate your contribution to our education. We hope that in future we'll have another opportunity to discuss
Yeah.
more topics with you. Thank you
Mm.
very much for your time and knowledge.
Okay, thank you
So,
very much. Thank you very much. And especially a lot of thanks to my friend, Dr. Akmota, for giving me this platform, sharing everything with you students. I'm very happy to be here. And I wish to see you again and wish to see you there in campuses as well. Thank you so much.